Why are some forests around Lake Martin burning? I'll let you know, and I'll also let you know why I think it's a good thing. That's true. I think controlled burns is what we're talking about today around Lake Martin. And I'll let you know why I think that controlled burns are one of the best tools that good stewards of the land can use. What I'm going to try to do is to seek out people that are experts in this field to try to give a little bit more context.
The purpose of the controlled burns are to keep down the overgrowth in the wilderness and the forest area. Lower overgrowth means a lower chance of wildfire spreading closer to these residents is what they're trying to prevent. That way we don't have issues like California's got right now with Los Angeles. We're trying to protect their property.
And here's the same track after it's been burned. You can see that the fuel has been knocked down, and so it's going to make the area a lot safer for the communities. I think another reason for a lot of people do prescribed burns and responsible landowners do is for safer communities. I'm going to be interviewing some folks later that will show it, but when you have a lot of fuel on the ground, meaning a lot of woods and pine straw and little limbs and dead trees on the ground, and if those fires get to burning super hot, they endanger communities.
This is duff that develops as pine straw and leaves and everything breaks down. And it's good for the soil, it's very good for the soil, but it's very flammable. This is hazard fuel that just builds and builds and builds. It's in the dirt. So what you have to do is periodically just burn off the surface to slowly start bringing this stuff back. And you can see the transition right here between what's actually topsoil and what is burnable duff. Here at this particular site, there was 56 years worth of fuel buildup. This pine straw was about as deep as our knees. And as the fire would come up this hill, no fire department, no emergency service would have been able to stop this fire. So we started fires on the edges of these cabins and let them slowly start working downhill. So you can see we've removed all that hazard fuel, all that duff that's built up for the last 50 years, and it's burned off some of the understory. We can see through here better.
Another reason why you want to do prescribed fires is because for healthier forests. Through the years, we're in Alabama, and these forests, these ecosystems evolved all over these years of having natural fires through lightning strikes and whatnot. And so the trees, the native species, all basically thrive in incremental fire. And it's not only the trees, but also the wildlife like deer and turkeys and gopher tortoises and the woodpeckers and just all the native local Alabamian wildlife thrive in it. So that's another great reason to do it.
Fire has been a part of the landscape forever. Mother Nature did prescribed fires of her own, and they were not nearly as kind and gentle as the fires of today. In the days before modern day fire suppression, lightning strikes caused devastating wildfires that burned thousands of acres.
This is a longleaf pine tree. This is a young one, probably 1 year old, and it's a fire adapted species. So it has learned over generations and generations of this species of pine how to survive in a fire. So the growth edge is right here in the tip. This is the candle, the leading edge of the growth of the tree. It's coming up, 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 and it grows from this little point right here. When this tree encounters heat, it was bushed out, it draws up and protects itself.
And comparing the early growing season to the control, where again, we didn't cut trees, we didn't burn, we had about 730% more turkey detections in the early growing season. So during May and June, that early growing season was really promoting a lot of good turkey detections, which again, point of emphasis here, we're only talking 1 to 2 months after fire.
They burned a lot of what we used to have, and the results from that was an enormous amount of turkeys, believe it or not. We increased the population. I would say that it doubled it. If we were getting 6, we got 12 poults out of a hen. The year that they did it, in fact, they did it during turkey season, and we kind of were worried about the fact that the nesting of the hens, but basically those hens were able to find a place to hide those poults and then bring them out. And when they come back in, when this starts growing in the spring, there'll be a lot of food for them right close to the ground. And as you can see, they'll be in here soon eating the insects that have been killed.
The way I look at it is, as a hunter, is I know that that burn is beneficial to deer and turkeys and other wildlife. And for me to not be able to hunt the day they're burning or even the week they burn is far offset in terms of the benefit derived from that fire. My great aunt left me a little bit of forest land in North Monroe County, and it was my piece of dirt that held the rest of the world together. I could do whatever I wanted to on my property, and I chose to use prescribed fire to a significant degree in managing that property. I had a management plan. My primary objective was wildlife, secondary objective was timber production, and I used a lot of prescribed fire.
We're visitors here. So one thing that really harps strongly on us as habitat managers, as fire managers, is that there is a land and there's an ecosystem that was here way before we got here, and it's gonna be here way after we leave. On Lake Martin, it's a lot of fun to play and enjoy and recreate and have time with family, but we're only here for a short time. The habitat and the ecosystem that was here before us, it's our responsibility to take care of it, to steward it, and to make sure that there's an investment for future generations and for the wildlife and the organisms that were here long before humans and will be here after humans.
A big reason why you see a lot of prescribed fire this time of year is because it's the law. The FERC, or Federal Energy Regulatory Committee, is the compliance arm that licenses Martin Dam. And part of that license says that Alabama Power, who's a huge landowner around the lake, they have to do controlled burns to reduce the fuel around the lake area. And so that's one reason is they have to as part of their license. And if you're wondering, well, why does the power company, what do they have to do with land? You need to watch one of the videos, Who Owns Lake Martin, that I did, that explains why when they built the dam back in 1926, they have some ashes around. But anyway, part of that license, they have to own a lot of land around the lake. And that's why there ends up being a huge landowner around Lake Martin, and they have to control the fuel supply there. And as part of that, FERC says they have to manage those forests responsibly. And so that's why you see some prescribed fires. Okay, I hope that answers some questions on why that you see fires around Lake Martin. It is definitely a necessary part of good forestry stewardship. So if you have any questions about that, don't call me. I'm just a real estate agent. My name is John Coley with Lake Martin Voice Realty, and this is how I connect with a lot of my clients, is they have questions about the Lake Martin area, what it's like to live here, what it's like to own property here. And so if you think we might be a good fit, please give me a call, and I would love to help you out. If not, at the very least, if you could please subscribe to my channel. That lets me know that what I'm giving you is giving you value. And honestly, it's the best zero cost way to you that you can help support the channel. I appreciate it. Thanks.